Let's take a closer look at how all this shook out in the court and what might be next for Tsarnaev. Rikki Kleiman is our CBS News legal analyst. Good morning, Rikki.
Good morning.
Let's start off where Don left off, which is remorse. How big of a role do you think the fact that unanimously everyone said this kid showed no remorse in the courtroom, how did that affect the outcome of this?
I think that was the critical factor in this case. You have to understand that the only remorse that Dzhokhar Tsarnaev showed was for himself. He was stoic. He looked straight ahead. He had no emotion. When did he cry? When his aunt came in and talked about his childhood. The only person that he felt badly about, the jurors could find, was him, and not about any of these victims. When you listen and you look at the carnage, at the horror of his acts, these jurors went into a war zone. There was no first responder who attended to every victim, who went through every part of that bombing, who saw every body being pulled apart. These jurors went through each act, and this defendant looked straight ahead.
The cornerstone, or one of the cornerstones of the defense, was that he was ultimately influenced by his older brother, that he wouldn't have done this without that influence. Did the jury basically reject that?
Well, 3 of the jurors did not. 3 of the jurors go along with the mitigating factors having to do with Tamerlan, the older brother, really being in charge of, being a Svengali over Dzhokhar Tsarnaev. And all the defense needed was one of those 3. However, even those 3, finding that his older brother was the cause, but for Tamerlan, Dzhokhar would not have been a jihadist. Even they had to say the horror of the acts, the premeditation, the carnage, the war zone had to outweigh why he became a jihadist. The other fact is this: the terrorism expert who testified says this: anyone can become radicalized. It doesn't matter by whom. They still are responsible for their own actions.
Fascinating. An automatic appeal coming up. Thank you, Rikki Kleiman, for being with us this morning.